I've just had a customer contact me saying he's got two lasers plugged in, but he's only getting output from one of them. So there can be multiple ways to check this. If he goes into Show Control Center on live, you can see here that it says devices and you've got numbers 1 to 20. So mine says no card because I don't have a laser plugged in at the moment. However, if you did, you can see your identification number for the interface here. So if you've got two lasers plugged in, you should see one here and one there. At the moment, you can see that the routing for the laser, it'll receive all signal sent to output number 1. Number 2 is set to 0. So if it's set like this at the moment, when you go into the software and click on a laser frame, you can see that in the preview window, it's only coming out of one of my outputs. If I open Showcontroller and then change this to number 1, you can see it's coming out of both lasers. So if you want the same projection coming from both lasers, you can set them both to 1, or as many lasers you've got plugged in, and they'll all receive the same output or the same signal. What you can do if you're doing it this way round is go to settings, and in here you can see all of your scanners down the side, and you're able to change your scanner speeds. You're able to change your size X and Y so you can make them match. Clicking through these menus, you can see that there's also a tab called Output. So at the top here, you can see it says Route Output to Pre-Programmed Scanner. So if we go over to the left-hand side where the scenes are, you can see that all of them have a small number in the corner. And most of them say number 1, or as standard, they'll all say number 1. So those laser frames are pre-programmed to only come out of output number 1. You can override this. So if we go to Show Control Center and change these to 1 and 2, we've now got individual control over each of our lasers. However, if we want the same thing to come out of both lasers, we can right-click on the scene and then click Overwrite Programmed Routing and send it to lasers 1 and 2. And you can see in the preview window, it's coming out of both of them now. So this programmed routing that it's talking about is actually inside the scene. If you go to Edit Scene again, double-click on the laser frame that's selected, and you can see here that I can change the target scanner or the target laser. So once you've got that, you can come out of there. As mentioned, you can overwrite, or you can close that, go back to your output window, and you can see here that we have predefined groups. So you're able to set your lasers up as groups. So if you have 3 lasers, you can have it so that certain frames only come out of the middle lasers or the outside laser. If we click on Edit Groups there, you can see that we have all. And all has scanners 1 to 8 already selected. So if I press OK and then select all, you can see that it's now selecting any lasers that I have plugged in, or it's outputting from any lasers that I have plugged in. If I had 3 lasers plugged in, I can click on Show Control Center, set these up as 1, 2, and 3, or just to make it look nice on the screen, let's set it up like that, I think. And then Edit Groups, you can see this one's SATs, and that's set for satellites. So inside satellites, I've got laser 1 and 3, and then the middle one, number 2, is not part of that group. So if I click SATs, it'll only come out of the outside lasers and not the center one. And again, you can click on all, it'll come out of all, or you can click on satellites. So that's just a couple of ways. If you're only getting output from one single laser, but not both, the best thing first to try is go to Show Control Center, set both of your lasers as output 1, and then try clicking something on this workspace, and the same signal is being sent to both lasers. Another side part to this is, as mentioned, you're able to send multiple outputs, or 2 different images to 2 different lasers. So if I set these back to number 1 and number 2, you can see now that my laser frames that only say number 1 in the corner, it's only coming out of one laser. This one here, you can see says 1 and 2. So if I click on that one, change this to no group or programmed scanner. Come back to my standard menu. You can see that a separate laser image is coming out of each unit. The way we've done this is if you right click on this unit, right click on this scene, scanner 1, if I double click that one, you can see that I've set this to come out of scanner 1, and that's what's happening there. This one, if I double click it, I've set to scanner 2. So the laser frame is coming out of 2. Although it's only one scene, it's triggering a separate laser frame from each laser. Now, if I was to change this to 1, both frames are now coming from output 1, or laser 1. Inside Control Center, you're also able to select each laser individually. And if I want both lasers to do the same thing, but mirrored, so if you've got only 2 lasers, one on either side of the stage, and you'd like them to have the same output, but a mirrored image, you're able to use these here. So you have invert X, invert Y. And if we've got them both set to number 1, I can change number 2, or laser 2, so that it's inverted. And then if we find a frame like this, or a rotation one would probably be better, you'll see that each laser is inverted, so that you're able to run one laser either side of the stage and they'll mirror each other. Hope that helps.